All right, what's up, Dragon Brood? We're going to be taking a look at a mono white aggro list that's starting to pop up on all of the different Magic Online events and online tournaments. And actually, I wouldn't even say just, it's kind of been doing that since we saw the release of the last set. So we're going to see if this is actually legit, because it looks actually pretty sweet. Now, it does have one copy of Curious Farm Animals, which is cute. I mean, it does let you gain 3 life, but also is a way to destroy artifacts or enchantments, so kind of an amusing inclusion. Does have a full set of Momo to make all of our flying creatures cheaper. Some Nurturing Pixies so we could reuse some things. We have Seam Rip for some removal. Figure of Fable. Now, depending on the list that you see, some have 2, some have 3, so there are some variations between lists, but this one does have 3 of them. It does also have Springleaf Drum. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this card, however, in this list, with everything being so cheap, and you're wanting to play multiple things in a turn, this card could turn out to be very good for us. Some Get Lost, obviously, for more removal. Some Voice of Victory to just kind of protect our stuff on our turn, more than actually getting the tokens, really, in this list. Cosmic Grand Zenith, obviously, if we're trying to play multiple things in a turn, this works out very well for us. A full set of Alaya Guided by Light, and this seems to be consistent between all the lists, so this is actually really cool to get us some cards and some life. Of course, Sage of the Skies, if we're playing multiple things, this works out in our favor. And the same can be said of Starfield Shepherd. This can let us go get some various cards, but also let us play a second spell for the turn. The deck loads up on Abandoned Air Temple, so we're going to have plenty of things we can pump up with this. So yeah, very cool list. I kind of want to see if this functions as well in Best of 1 as it does on all these like Best of 3 tournaments. But before we get to that, we got to do some business, and I got to tell you, go over buy your cards at Tales of Adventure, because you can save 5% when you use my code DRAGON. It's DRAGN. It's really simple. Go check them out. See if they have something you want. If they do, use my code, save 5%. You'll support the channel. They appreciate it. I appreciate it. But all right, let's go see if this deck really is as good as it seems. Ugh, just 1 land. Can't do that. We have 2 land. I think this is kind of how we have to go about this. Storm Chaser's talent, sure. We will play a land. We will attack. I mean, I know you're not blocking. I'm actually going to let them keep the Storm Chaser's talent, and I'm going to gamble here. It also means we could pick up the Seam Rip later with a Pixie or something and get some extra value if we want. Which isn't bad. They're going to bounce our Figure of Fable? No, they're going to bounce their own thing. Yeah, it's fine. It's weird that that's such a common play that I just kind of go like, meh, alright, you did it. Interesting, they're blocking here. Alright. Zenith. How many of my things are you going to attempt to bounce? That's what I need to know. Are you going to bounce your own talent again? Thunder Trap Trainer, sure. Alright, need something good here. Momo, you qualify. Friend, you qualify. Thank you much. Let's go Warp. And do we want more creatures or... Yeah, let's make more bodies. Just so we get a card here. And if their plan is to get us with serpents and other things to tap our team, then like, so be it, I guess. Alright, that's good. That can guarantee we get to play 2 spells, or virtually guarantee we get to play 2 spells. You have yet another Storm Chaser's talent. And they're probably going to bounce and replay one. Nope, you're bouncing our Cosmic Grand Zan. That's a good move. Keeps things from getting too out of hand here. They're going to bounce Figure Fable. Sure. Why not? Yeah, I'll block one of them. Make them work for every point. Okay. Now, options. Can we do this? Yeah, we could Zenith and then Shepherd. Let's make more bodies. And this time I might just get a Plains. Oh, wait, actually. Yeah, let's just get a Plains. I think that's what we want to do. And then we'll just replay Figure of Fable. Oh, actually, crap. I guess I played a land for the turn. Dang it. Then I wouldn't have done that. I would have made a whole different play. Oops. Yeah, I would have set up something for next turn. Uh-oh. I mean, I guess worst case scenario here, I could still play Halaya into something, so it's not the end of the world. Problem for the opponent is Cosmic Grand Zan is a real issue for them. Because Reese can just keep going wide and they can never get the value to punch through like they want to. And they've used 3 Boomerang basics and 3 talents already. Splash Portal, sure, go looking for another card. Probably some other bounce spell. Yep. Springleaf Drum makes sense. Splash Portal. Yeah, alright, cool. That's weird. It's like the opponent just realized, like, they're just never going to be able to deal with our board. Or I guess maybe they saw the life game from Halaya or something. Like, I don't know. I'm curious. Like, this deck feels like it's the type of deck that only beat you if they're significantly ahead. Right? Like, if they had kept the first otter, were able to pressure us, and we didn't have tokens or whatever, then sure, I could see how they could get a win. But without that, it's actually kind of tough. I guess we keep it. Alright, I'm going to Springleaf Drum. I feel like this is it Lessons or something, so I don't want to just run too much out there if we don't have to. Yeah, let's pass. No, it's a Consult. Alright. So it's not what we expected to see at all, actually. Sure, you got it. I don't even feel like we really need to bother with this one. This is a game we're not going to win with this hand, right? If you don't have a fast start, I don't see how we beat this. But I guess we still try. Here comes another counter. We get one of them at least, so that's good. Not that I expect we're going to keep these very long. Probably like ill-timed explosion or something terrible, but we'll see. Oh, so far, nothing. Peculiar. Alright, go attacking. I will attempt to pump Fable one time. And that's probably all I'm going to dedicate to it. Because any more than that, if they just have, like, any type of 3 damage spell or something, doesn't help us. I mean, yeah. Oh, I'm surprised they didn't make a token to block with there. But they might just be making a treasure so they could just play Meringue River Regent next turn. Which would make sense. You got it. What would you like to target? Awesome. That's not great for us. I mean, I play Elia, then like nothing happens. That feels kind of bad. Alright, let's just get rid of your treasure. Replay figure, pump figure. Attack. In the turn. And what do we got? Nothing? Alright. Another Momo. That's not good. I mean, I guess it's a good post sweeper or something. I mean, we're playing a game of chicken. I can't tap land to the Figure of Fable. They can always just make a 1/1 and block, too. Alright. They chose not to. They're going to draw here. Makes sense. Flip a coin. They won. They got a treasure. And then... oh, Pyroclasm. Sure. I mean, our creature was a 2/3. Seer. Well, sadly, we could make it a 4/5, but it's not going to do enough. Yep, alright. It's dead. I mean, they had a lot of removal, so only so much we were going to be able to do about that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to target my own Seam Rip. See if this works. I mean, if they get rid of our Halaya, we don't get to draw cards. Like, we're doing what we can do. We're kind of up against it and grasping at straws at this point. Alright, we'll at least get a card off of this. And a couple of points of life. Not sure how relevant that is. Oh no. That's super unfortunate. Alright, that's something. Maybe. I mean, we got to attack. We can't just not do anything, right? I mean, take 1 to prevent 4 seems like a good plan. Alright, I mean, still gonna do it. I mean, if they have something that deals with our creatures, so be it. Wow, they'd rather draw a card there. I mean, I think they have an advantage anyway, but... them going to 2... I mean... you know, they've already got enough shock lands in place. They're probably alright. Alright, they're drawing. That's a good sign. Dracogenesis, and we win. I don't even remember the last time anybody played a Dracogenesis. So they played a Dracogenesis and had no other dragons in hand, effectively. That's so strange. Of all the cards I thought they were going to play, that was not one of them. Oh, we get to keep this, huh? I'm going to mulligan going first with this. Seeing how greedy we can be. We're going to keep it, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not loving the Springleaf Drum. While it does have some value here, though. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? All right, I'm gonna get rid of Geralt. I'm gonna force myself to pay attention to the Springleaf Drum. Nope, and they had a seam rip, so there you go. Hey, we found another Momo. That's nice, I guess. In the turn. And they had another seam rip. Like, sure, man. Not sure what you do in those scenarios. If they just have it, they have it. I guess we just go get another Momo. They're so afraid of us having them. And we'll take advantage of the Springleaf Drum, right? Alright. So this feels like an Azorius Control pile. If that's what this is, then we do have to be careful about what we're actually playing here. What's the best thing that's worth playing? I guess if we Starfield Shepherd for 1. I mean, really, we need to go get a Plains here is what we should be doing. Problem is, if we do, we're sort of backing ourselves in a corner. We actually don't have a good play here. There is a world, though, where we get Nurturing Pixie. And hear me out for a second. We attack. Oh, you know what? I missed the point. We could have Pixied to pick up Springleaf. It's alright. I was just thinking, wanting to be able to play 2 things next turn, we kind of want to hold on to the Pixie. So maybe we just play Springleaf Drum. And are we passing on that? Actually, let's do this. This is going to look a little weird. But I'm going to pick up Momo. Not totally sure what the opponent's wanting to do. Alright, they had another seam rip, sure. Like I say, I assume you also have land. Which they do. Oh, great. Now seam rip to get our own seam rip. Alright, well, we're just going to move on. This is not a game we're winning. Alright, let's keep it. Pollinator, you know what that means? There's going to be a lot of mana ramp behind that. Yep, that's what we expected to see. Weaver, sure. The problem here becomes that we have to just leave mana up for Get Lost, unfortunately. Well, it's only a Surok, so that's okay. Is there Ouroboros there? Still doesn't mean there's not an Ouroboros there yet. Do we just take 5 here? Can we afford to take 5 here? Alright, I guess we gotta. I mean, sure. They get a card. I mean, if they have what they need, they have what they need. I mean, we're sitting here with these derpy Springleaf Drums that aren't doing anything. Play Elia for 1. Play a Shepherd for 1. Shepherd gets... Heck, I don't know. Nurturing Pixie? Then we can tap one of these to the Pixie. Pick up Halaya. Yeah, alright. Not much. I mean, we get Ouroboros, we just give them the GGs here. We really needed a land in that sequence. Without it, we're in pretty bad shape. I mean, we're tapped out. They can do whatever they want right now. Alright, you got it. Yeah, you know what's on top, so it's not really a secret here. I guess the good news is they only had one reasonable attack there, and it wasn't good. So that helps. However, we're still short on mana. So this doesn't solve any of our problems. I guess I'm going to have to Starfield Shepherd to get land. That is sad. Really? And even if we play the land, we still have 3 mana. I guess we can just play this. Tap the Shepherd. No attacks. Alright, if we're somehow not dead... No, we're just dead. Because we'll block and then just lose. Right? Yeah, alright, GG's. I mean, because they could just pump, and attack. Like... We're not going to do anything good here. Yeah, exactly. Alright. Alright, we'll keep. I'm just not loving the Springleaf Drums, I think, is my issue. And don't be wrong, I'm going to be up front, too. I've never been a fan of the card, except for in affinity builds. I do know people love this card, and I get it. It's for some people. I am not one of those people. Alright, play our voice. Attack. Alright, away it goes. Not a surprise. We will... Starfield Shepherd. I almost wish there was like some other 1/1. I mean, guess we go get Nurturing Pixie. I feel like we're just kind of dirtling a lot, if that makes sense. But hey, I mean, sometimes decks just get across the finish line that way. Windcrag Siege. Alright, that's not good for us. Do we have enough mana to... I don't think we do. Gonna warp. Get our Curious Farm Animals. But we need... Oh, no, we do have enough. Alright. Because we can... tap the mana, generate the mana, then sacrifice it. So that's fine. Alright. I'm only waiting in the event that they play like a Caretaker's Talon or something. I'd rather get rid of that, obviously. Alright. Looks like they're going to sweep the board anyway. No blocks. Guess they could have had a weird sneak or something there. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorta saw that coming. Alright. Guess this is all we're doing here. And then we'll go ahead and just pump it up to a 4/5 so it can't get hit with the lightning strike. Fortunately, Johnny only deals 4 to a creature, right? Okay, well, that's some good.
Thank you for your aid.
Can we find an untapped land? Alright, that's something. Alright, pass the turn. Sure. Question is, can we win fast enough now?
My ally stands strong.
I mean, obviously we block. And then we go ahead and just pay all the juice. And we just have to hope this is enough over 2 turns. Ooh, Sage Disguise. Never mind. So we can Shepherd. Probably to get a backup Figure of Fable here. Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. That's fine. Like, that's a more than acceptable scenario. And then we'll play Sage of the Skies. And attack. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of a Johnny. So if they do play a sweeper, that would be their only relevant play of any kind. And we just want to make sure we don't get wrecked. Sure. What would you like to do here? Yeah, they're checking like, wait, you still have access to a mana, which is the right thing to do. Always good to double check. So the interesting thing here is we gain 4 and take some amount that isn't world ending. Oh, these stupid Springleaf drums. I swear. So we attack for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we would take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I mean, I guess we're okay with that. All right. Because then it does put them at 8 and kind of under pressure. Maybe we could block something here. Nothing real fancy to play. Unless we just want to play Nurturing Pixie to be able to replay the Shepherd, which I guess is fine. Again, mostly on the back of them maybe having to play some type of sweeper. So we have stuff to do after the fact. Alright, do they have it? They do. So we made the right call there. That was super fantastic, actually. And we'll just go ahead and play full-size Shepherd to go get another figure just in case. And then we'll pump figure once. Alright. Alright, cool. That's a solid win. Yeah, and see, this is where it's kind of weird, because on the one hand, we can look and say, like, we actually use Springleaf Drum this game, but there's also a lot of other scenarios where, like, if these had just been creature removal spells, or if this had been our own, like, Ajani, or whatever, right, we'd have been just as well off. So, I don't know. Alright, we get to go first, but this isn't really a go first kind of hand. Other than, you know, getting to play Voice of Victory on 2. Because sorcery speed, seam rep, and we don't have anything to bounce with the Pixie. And you don't just want to play this for a simple 1/1 flyer. While that isn't terrible, it's not really what you're aiming for. But we'll just pass and see what happens here. They did nothing. Wow, a second voice of victory. I don't know if that's really where we want to be here, but we'll see. They also didn't play a voice of victory, so we'll attack and see what's up here. Huh. Well. I mean, I guess I'll go with the second voice. I don't know why I feel like they're just gonna, like, sweep our board here or something, but I don't know. Guess I'm your Huckleberry. Like, what else are we gonna do? We only have 2 voice of victories too, I think, and we just drew them. Opponent doesn't do anything. Alright, then I guess we attack with our voices. I'm at least just... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Pulled the wrong card. There we go. At least play Momo. In the turn. I mean, we're attacking for 7 next turn, so I mean... Right? 3, 6, 7, yeah. What even is this card? Artifacts cost you 1 less to cast. All right. Well, I'm probably giving them some extra artifacts for their affinity, but I mean, what else are we gonna do? I guess we're hoping we don't get star caged here because we got stuck on 2 land. I mean, star cage wrecks our world. They could United Battlefront into a star cage here. Oh, but they don't have it. Woo, we got lucky. Okay, sure. Why not? Figure of Fable, you're up. It's your time to shine, little buddy. Oh, guess not. There's a Merfolk in the way. Though, you know, we could attack and see if they just forget and block. I doubt it, but maybe. Because we could always just pump up our creature. Alright, that didn't work. What do we got going on here? Been a minute since we played against a Merfolk deck. I was going to say, I will gladly just block there. Ooh, this gets to be an interesting turn. So we could... Halaya... Dang it, I need another white mana. If that's how we feel, then maybe we don't play Halaya here. Might just make sense to do this instead. And then next turn we can think about, do we want to play Halaya, pump the figure, maybe, we'll see. Also at some point, do we want to bounce a token just to get a 2/2 pixie, because Merfolk don't really have creatures that fly or have reach. So if we can get a few more points in, that becomes a real situation. Alright, they do get to make 2 duders here. That is relevant. Oh, and they actually had a non-land on top. That makes us very sad. Makes us very, very sad. Just trying to think how I want to treat this. Like, we attack, we give up voice. Draw a card. Is that even worth it? Probably not. So let's just attack with Figure of Fable. Because they're willing to trade. I'm not too upset by that, really. Let me think about this. Do we want to pump? pump and then just play Momo. Get another flyer down, basically. I mean, we'll see. I don't know how this is going to go. Also good that that thing comes down during the main phase, because they could have done that as a combat trick or something and could have affected us. Yeah, as it turns out, we're not too worried about the Voice of Victory being tapped here. I guess the only downside is they can't flash that on our turn while we have a Voice of Victory. Okay, Cosma Grand Zenith, I see you. Let's go attacking. Opponent's going to take 3. I think we're alright with that. And we're just going to play Halaya the hard way. Now, there is a situation there where you could play Halaya for 1, you could play Pixie and pick it up so you can still have it for 1 again the next turn, which actually isn't terrible. Bounce off, sure, you got it. Alright, we're at 1. Found another land, so we can Cosmo Grand Zenith, Halaya, make some tokens. Yeah, that's fine. I think we're okay with that. Make tokens. And how do we want to block? I think we're attacking here. I mean, we're at 2. If they tap something down and just attack through, so be it. I took a chance, take a risk, get bit sometimes. Alright. It's good to at least know what's on top. Yep. More +1/+1 action, so it makes blocking not happy. But we can keep a Cosmo Grand Zenith. We can block the biggin, block a biggin. Block here, block here. Alright. Pretty sure we're losing this one. Does that change anything for us? Not really. Yeah, alright. GG's. They got us. We go first. Sure. Let's play a Figure of Fable and see what we can do. Seam Rip, you got it. Let's go with the Voice of Victory. I also don't want to get into an ugly game where we have to like Seam Rip their Seam Rip and get a thing back, because like that also gets kind of silly. Yeah, especially when, well, I don't know. We'll see. Forsaken Miner. You have that, sure. Do we just Seam Rip? Trying to think of like, if we wait, we Seam Rip and play Sage. Yeah, so we can do this and just get another Seam Rip, actually. That could be fine. I mean, I guess we could get Momo as well. Actually, holding a Seam Rip, maybe we do get a Momo. It'd also make it easier to replay Starfield Shepherd. Alright. And then we're going to get some hasty skeletons. How did I know? This deck's so popular right now. Have y'all watched my last couple of videos? I think for real, we've run into... Hell, I couldn't even tell you how many of these decks. But there are lots of them. I can tell you that. Get double Sage of the Skies. And we'll go ahead and play a Figure of Fable. Why not? And then if they just have extra removal, they get us. Is what it is. That card is very good against us. It will ultimately end up blocking our flyers, which we don't like. Tell you a secret, if you attack for 3, I won't block. Nah, they didn't want to see if I was being an honest person. Fair enough. We're attacking with this group of creatures. Feel free to block what you want. I will pump up my Figure of Fable. If you have an answer, I'm your Huckleberry. Alright. We go to 21. Now if we untap a land, we just have supersized Figure of Fable. Oh, you got a shelter. That sucks for us. Sure. Just trading life gain? Fine. Good thing for them, though. We did find what we needed there. Let's go ahead and attack. Get us some life. Play a Starfield Shepherd. Guess what? We're going to go get... Oh, do we have no more? Wait, what? Oh, we can't get Seam Rip. It has to be a creature or whatever. That's why. Duh. Then let's just get Curious Animals. That seems worthwhile. And the turn. And the creature gets double strike, but I mean, we have blockers. You have another shelter. And they have a Seamer. Alright, sure, man. Gain your 10 life or whatever it is. You got it. Good news is, it's kind of like their whole game plan there, so nothing else really happened. Alright. So we'll just play us some Curious Farm Animals. Go attacking. Do those farm animals like scream like a horror movie? Would y'all rewind and see if y'all can hear that? I swear these things, I think it's supposed to be like a swine pig sound, but that was weird. I'm just debating, like, if we get the angel back, what would we go get here? I think we do it though. So this one's holding the angel, this one's holding the fable. I think we get the one with the angel. And then we just go get... Oh, wait. We could... Nah, I don't want to get into a silly Seam Rip shenanigans. Let's just get a Figure of Fable. In the turn. And then this forces the opponent to say, like, hey, if all you're doing this turn is corpses of loss, fine. Like, we're okay with that. Yeah. No blocks. There's zero need for us to block here. Ooh, we got... Actually, here's the thing now. We can Nurturing... Let's do this. Nurturing Pixie. Pick up Sage of the Skies. Play Sage of the Skies. Get multiple Sages. Go attacking. Opponent says, nah, I'm good. Worst case scenario, if they were to sweep the board for some reason, we at least get a Fable back with all this mana. Yeah, nowhere to run. We're not concerned about that. That doesn't do much of anything here that's relevant. Yep. We'll just block and block. They go to 12. Yep, that'll do it. So yeah, there's a lot here for me to dissect. First off, let me bring up the sideboard here because this is a real thing. There are cards in the sideboard that I would like to just have main deck if I'm playing best of one on the ladder, right? I think Clarion Conquerors, also being a flyer and getting a discount from Momo, I think is very good. Turns off all the Badger Mole stuff or whatever. Like, even turns off stuff in the synthesizer list. Because honestly, and I'm going to be upfront with you, like, synthesizer lists, we ran into a couple of them. Graveyard stuff, we ran into several of them. We just didn't beat any of those, right? So, while I think this deck is good, I think it's because in best of 3, you can then go to the graveyard for all these, or sideboard for all these things, right? And I think we just need to make room for some of these to be main deck. Because I was even thinking about Requisition Raid. The other part of that is, and I think I mentioned this multiple times throughout the video. Maybe I didn't, or I was just thinking it, but while I like Springleaf Drum, I just don't think it's quite what I want in this list. I get it because we're also trying to skimp on mana a little bit here because we're going to play 21 lands and we're using Starfield Shepherds to go get those. But I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I would rather have like a couple of Requisition Raids, honestly, and I would even like for anti-graveyard, I don't even think it would be wrong. Now, admittedly, we do have Curious Farm Animals we can go get, which helps with some artifacts and enchantments. But I don't think it'd be terribly wrong to play like the 3/1 cat that can exile graveyards. Granted, it gives you a bunch of things at 3, so maybe you can't get away with it. I think an interesting thing here, because you do have Cosmogrand Zenith, is being able to play the Ooze. Actually, if you want to play that. Oh, it's funny. All the Ooze creatures come up when you do that. That's amusing. I guess I have to put exactly the Ooze. But even a couple of copies of the Ooze, I think, helps with graveyard stuff. Then if your creatures are dying, even if it's a pixie with a counter, it's like, all right, cool. Now I can just move those counters onto the next thing. And that could be somewhat useful, right? And these are still cheap enough that you could play them. So I don't have a problem with this build. I would probably cut down one Starfield Shepherd at that point to make room for another land. Actually, I'm going to cut down an abandoned air temple as well, because there were multiple times I had to mulligan hands because we drew 2 air temples. And it's just like, when you're trying to play a Figure of Fable or a Momo turn 1, just not having access to it is a little bit tough. The other thing, too, I wanted to take a look at right quick is what creatures have flying in white that we're not playing potentially. And I'm going to switch screens. Like when we're deck building, I like seeing more cards at one time. I feel like, a Demi of the Silk Shoots can have flying but doesn't get the discount outright. But it does give your stuff protection, hexproof and whatnot. So I am a big fan of that. And I think, Giada obviously is good, but we don't have any angels really but one. And that's not worth it. There's probably some Sun Pearl Kirin options. Also, if we wanted to, Aven Interrupter, that's a thing too. But again, you start falling into too heavy on the 3 mana side of things. I think if I were playing this again on the ladder, I would play something that looks more like this, because it at least has a couple of answers for more of the problematic decks you were going to run into, right? Because you want to be able to get rid of artifacts. You want to be able to get rid of graveyards. Maybe you need to play an extra copy of the Ooze. I don't know. That being said, I think this is simply a deck that's actually better for best of 3 than best of 1. Like, while it does do some neat things and it can kind of go big at times, the random decks you run into on the ladder, and I think I've said this many, many times before, but for those of you that are new, there are things you're going to run into on the ladder you're not going to run into in tournament settings, right? And this deck knows what the metagame is and what you're going to run into deck-wise if you're playing in a competitive setting, which is also why the sideboard is built the way it is. But for my money, I think there's enough random things you'll run into that I would probably build this very differently. Honestly, I'm even sitting here looking at Starfield Shepherd and being like, I get it, I just don't like it. But the problem then is you just don't have that many flyers that you'd be taking advantage of Momo with. So that becomes another weird thing. So it's a deck that's trying to take advantage of Momo, but doesn't have that many flyers. And I don't know. I just feel very weird about it. I think this is the list I'm going to make available, though, if you want to download it and give it a shot. However, if you want to copy the one from earlier in the video, I think it's fine. Again, if you're playing best of 3, I think that version works quite well. But going to be over on Moxfield. I'll let y'all decide what to do with it. That's all I have you for now. We'll see you next time.